The bottle rolled. It had spent centuries in a dusty cave, waiting, ignored, quietly brooding. Now it wobbled awkwardly on the sand, shimmering under the harsh sun. A tourist in cargo shorts picked it up. "Hey, babe," he called. "I think I found one of those old genie bottles." "It's probably mass-produced junk," his girlfriend shouted back, not looking up from her phone. The man shrugged, twisted the lid, and with a thunderous whoosh, ancient seals cracked, centuries of confinement snapped, and the desert trembled. A plume of dark smoke spiraled into the sky, twisting, contorting, and finally solidifying into a towering figure of fire and shadow. Sakhr, the mighty Efrit, stretched his arms wide, flames licking his fingertips. "At last! I am free," he bellowed, his voice rumbling like a sandstorm. "Tremble before me, mortals, for I." The couple had already jogged back to their tour bus. "Whoa!" Sakhr blinked. His first act of terror had been ghosted. He huffed, brushing sand from his shoulder. "Solomon," he muttered, the ancient king's name rolling off his tongue with a mix of seething anger and reluctant admiration. "You sealed me for millennia, but I endure. Your wisdom, irritatingly effective." His molten eyes scanned the landscape, roads, billboards, tourists in floppy hats. "Where is the kingdom of men?" he whispered. He stomped toward a parking lot where a row of metal chariots hummed under the sun. One beeped and drove away without a horse. Sakhr staggered backward. By the black flames. Sorcery. Chariots, without reins. Did Solomon unleash this magic? A nearby local vendor, chewing gum lazily, watched Sakhr gawk at a minivan. "You lost, bro." "I am Sakhr, scourge of winds, bringer of infernos." "Kneel." The vendor pointed at his sunglasses. Yeah. Look, cosplays down at the festival. "Want a kebab?" "Kebab?" Sakhr asked. The sizzling meat skewers drew Sakhr's nose like a moth to fire. "I have not tasted human food in 6,000 years. First one's on the house, genie man." Sakhr devoured the kebab whole, nearly eating the stick. "This," he gasped, "is better than roasted camel." "Yeah, we've moved on since then." The vendor flicked his lighter. Sakhr's eyes widened. A mortal could summon flame with a click? "You wield fire?" Sakhr asked, stepping back in genuine surprise. The vendor shrugged. "Lighters, bro. $2 at the gas station." Sakhr grabbed the lighter, flicked it, and stared at the tiny flame in his palm. Such power in the hands of peasants. What had Solomon's world become? With kebab grease still on his lips, Sakhr began to wander the modern city. He passed glass towers that pierced the sky, glowing screens that whispered news from distant lands, people talking to small glowing slabs in their hands. "I remember when a message took weeks, riding on trembling horses," he murmured. "Now mortals converse across oceans in the span of heartbeats." A little boy almost bumped into him. "Watch it, old man," the kid snapped, eyes glued to his phone. Sakhr raised his fiery hand instinctively, then stopped. Destroy him? For a careless word. What would Solomon have done? The king who caged him had also spared him once. Sakhr exhaled, his rage simmering into curiosity. He followed the boy into a cafe. The boy sat with friends, all tapping away at their devices, laughing at glowing screens. What sorcery binds them so? Sakhr wondered aloud. A barista handed him a cup of coffee. "I did not order this." "Someone left it. Free coffee, big guy." Sakhr sniffed the dark liquid, sipped, and recoiled. This is magnificent poison. Give me another." Cup after cup vanished into him. The caffeine hit him like a desert storm. His thoughts raced. His heart drummed like war drums. Was this the power Solomon feared? Perhaps, Sakhr mused, eyes darting around the buzzing cafe. This is why he sealed me. Not for my strength, but because he saw that one day mortals would surpass even jinn. He stomped outside, his steps quickening. A tiny rectangular beast on wheels zipped past, a skateboard. The teenager riding it sneered. "Out of the way, Grandpa. Do not trifle with me, impudent child." Sakhr roared, and in a fit of caffeinated bravado, he snatched a skateboard from a rack. His fiery weight promptly shattered it. A bystander clapped. "Nice performance art." "What? No, this is no act. I am the Efrit Sakhr. Bound by Solomon, freed by fate." "Rad name, bro." The bystander handed him a new skateboard. Sakhr grimaced, stepped carefully this time, and wobbled straight into a trash can. The crowd erupted in laughter. And yet, Sakhr found himself laughing too. When had he last heard such unrestrained, human joy? When had he last laughed? He rose from the heap of garbage, brushing banana peels from his horns. Perhaps Solomon was right to seal me, he muttered. The world he envisioned is far greater than the world I sought to burn. His feet led him to a library. He marveled at the rows upon rows of books, knowledge now shared with all, not hoarded by kings. Solomon's wisdom echoes here, he whispered. A kingdom not of gold, but of thought. His hand traced a children's book. The Little Prince. He sat and read, his enormous frame crammed into a tiny chair. Hours passed. A librarian cautiously approached. Sir, the library's closing. Why? Sakhr's voice rumbled. Is knowledge rationed in this age? The librarian chuckled. Nah, we just need to sleep. Sleep. Mortals still needed rest. But they soared the skies, spoke across continents, cured diseases, built cities taller than Babel. In his time, humanity had cowered before storms and Efrit. Now, they harnessed the winds to fly. Solomon. Sakhr sighed as he stepped into the night air. You imprisoned me to protect them. But perhaps, you believed in them more than I did. His gaze lifted to the moon. I sought to rule. You sought to teach. And look what they have become. He wandered until morning, watching joggers in neon shoes, street sweepers singing, bakers kneading dough. There was still struggle, still imperfection, but the resilience of these fleeting creatures, how they laughed, stumbled, built, and forgave, it defied him. A street preacher called out to him. Brother, do you know God? I knew one who did, Sakhr murmured. The preacher handed him a small pamphlet. Sakhr tucked it into his belt. His stomach rumbled. He returned to the kebab vendor. You again? Hungry? Sakhr nodded. Do you accept payment in ancient coin? The vendor laughed. First kebab's free, second one's $2. This is a $2 world now. Sakhr grinned, his molten eyes softening. Then I shall earn it. You looking for work? I can sweep, Sakhr offered. I am adept at sand removal. You're hired. And so, the mighty Efrit Sakhr, breaker of seals, adversary of Solomon, spent the afternoon sweeping sidewalks, sipping coffee, and learning to skateboard, poorly. Sometimes, he would mutter at the breeze, You would be proud, Solomon. Other times, when he fell off the skateboard again, he'd grunt, Curse you, Solomon, before laughing softly. For in this strange, racing, chaotic world, perhaps even an ancient Efrit could find a place.